Okay, here we go. So we're going to be annotating today. Um, and what is the title of the article, Haley?
Why are identical twins rare?
Yeah, why are they rare? So we have a picture here of twins, right?
Yeah.
What do they all have that's similar about them?
That they kind of have the same face and hair.
They have the same face. They have the same hair. And it seems like everything, right? Look at
Yeah.
their nose, their eyebrows, their chin, even their ears are the same. What do we call those?
Genes.
They have the same genes, yes, but there's another word. It starts with the letter F.
Feature.
Features, yeah. So Feature. Features. And they have the same features. Eyes, chin, ears, hair. Yeah, all the features that make up humans, right? All right, so let's go ahead and read. Why don't you read the first paragraph? And as you're reading the first paragraph, I want you to think about the words that we might want to underline, um, that we thought were challenging. And I also want you to think about the main idea. Like if you were to pick one sentence that basically tells us what the paragraph was about, then I want you to tell me to underline. Okay? So go ahead.
Everyone is different. We can recognize one another's faces because every face is unique. With different combinations of traits like eye, color, skin color, nose shape, and so on, all these differences are called variation. Where does variation come from? Genes instruct for proteins which determine our traits. People have different traits because our protein molecules are different, and our proteins are different because our genes are different. Every human has a unique set of genes, different from anyone else's. At least almost all of us do.
All right. So what words do you are look familiar to you that we've been learning about? And before you say that, which one should we use? The pink or the yellow for the
Mm,
words?
The I think
The pink one. Pink one we use for challenging words. So think of a word there. Think of words there that we might want to underline. That we
maybe combinations.
that Mr. Lopez has talked about.
Mm,
No, but I like that. I like that you said combinations.
yeah.
What else?
Um, mm, uh, instruct.
Instruct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you know, you ever had a locker like for the gym, when you need to get a
Yeah.
locker to so in they have different combinations, uh different codes so that you can get in to the locker, right?
Yeah.
So that's basically what combinations are.
Mm.
Yeah. And to instruct someone is to basically give them directions.
Mm.
So if I give you a piece of paper, if I call you, I say, Haley, come over here for a second. And then I have a piece of paper, and the piece of paper says, go to Miss Diaz's class and ask her for a pencil. Then you wouldn't need to tell me anything, right? You would just look at the instruction, and then you'd walk out of the classroom and you say,
Yeah.
go to Miss Diaz. And then you go to Miss Diaz, and then you'd say, Miss Diaz, do you have a pencil that Mr. Lopez could borrow? She says, yes, there's the pencil. And then you walk back. Those are instructions, right?
Yeah.
Okay, which sentence do you think we should underline that says pretty much the main idea of this paragraph?
Um.
Usually it's the first sentence or it's the last sentence. But if it's a short sentence, usually it's not the main idea. Like this first sentence right here, it says everyone is different. That's only three words. But right here, every time you look at the main idea, I want you to look at the first sentence and the last one. Read the last one.
Every human has a unique set of genes different from anyone else's, at least almost all of us do.
All right.
And
So,
last one.
yeah, I think it is the last one too. So let's go ahead and highlight that one. Basically, it's saying we're all unique. We all have different genes, different set of genes. At least almost all of us. Not all of us, though,
Yeah.
right? And who are they referring to when they mean almost all of us? Twins. Twins, with the exception of twins, almost all of us have a unique set of genes. Okay. All right. Let's go to second paragraph. Why don't you go ahead and read that?
Okay. Imagine knowing someone who looks almost exactly like you, so much like you that people often mistake you for each other. You are the same height, your hair and eyes are the same colors, even the shape of your smile is the same. If you are an identical twin, you already know what that's like.
Okay. So, any words there that you want me to highlight that you heard Mr. Lopez talk about, or any word there that you find interesting? Or any word there that you'd like for me to clarify?
No.
No, we're fine. Okay, that's fine. So, what is the main idea in the paragraph?
I think it's the first one.
Imagine knowing someone who looks almost like you, so much like you that people often mistake you for each other. Um, so that person would be an identical twin, right? An identical twin has what features?
Same
This,
hair, same height, same eyes, and same smile.
yeah, and so that would pretty much be our main sentence there. You're the same height, same hair, same eye colors. Even the same shape of your smile is the same. And these are identical twins. If you notice here, it says identical twins, their genes are the same. They have the same genes. All right, let's go ahead and read that last paragraph.
Identical means exactly the same. Identical twins look so much alike because they have the same proteins and they have the same proteins because the genes are the same. How can two different people end up with identical genes?
All right. What do you think is the main idea there? The main idea is usually not a question. So the last paragraph would probably not be the main idea because it's a question. It's asking us a question.
And you think it's the first one?
First one, identical means the same. Okay. Sometimes you can have an identical smile. Like when you smile, do you have a smile that's like your mom's or your little brother's? Or do you have a different, you kind of have a different smile?
Yeah.
Kind of have a different smile. All right. So let's go head over to E2. How we get our genes. Let me zoom this in a little bit closer. And there is Jimena. Jimena has decided to join us. Wonderful. All right, go ahead and read the next paragraph. How we get our genes.
We inherit our genes from our biological parents, though the process of reproduction, each parent has a complete set of genes. These genes are organized on matching pairs of chromosomes. Each chromosome pair has two copies of each gene. However, the two copies of any particular gene can be the same version or different versions.
Okay, so this is what we call a chromosome pair. Can you think of anything that is sort of like that we use the word pair for?
Cells.
Can you repeat that?
Cells.
Cells. Okay, that's one thing. Anything else that we use the word pair for? P-A-I-R.
Molecules.
Something that we use for like in everyday life. Like for instance, pairs of shoes. What do girls like to put on their ears?
Earrings.
What?
Earrings.
Earrings. Pair of earrings. What else?
Socks.
Socks. Okay, so you can think of these as chromosome pairs that live inside of the nucleus. Okay, and sometimes they are the same pair, and sometimes they are different. Okay, so can you tell us a new word there? I guess the word chromosome is new, right? Chromosome pair. Yeah, and that's the sentence there. We inherit our genes from reproduction through that process. All right. And reproduction involves special reproductive cells from both our parents. That's where we come from. And the mother's reproductive cells are called eggs, and the father's reproductive cells are called sperm. And unlike other cells that have 2 copies of every gene, egg cells and sperm cells only have 1 copy of each gene, which means the cell only contains 1 version of each gene. If a parent has 2 different versions of the gene, some reproductive cells will end up with 1 version, while other reproductive cells will end up with the other version. Each time these special cells are produced, the different genes, the division of genes is different, random. So they're all different and unique. And if I were to pick a sentence, it would probably be first paragraph, the first sentence. And the word reproductive pops up a lot. All right. Oops. We should use pink. And division of genes. And so this is a really good model here. And if you're just joining us, we're on E2. We're on page E2. That's the page number. And we have cells from your mother. And we have cells from your father. And there are several different combinations that can be made from different cells. It says here, while other cells contain 2 gene copies, reproductive cells are different. They contain just 1 gene copy. Okay. All right. And let's move on to E3. And these are the different cell combinations that Mr. Lopez was talking about. And I hope that you can see that. You hope you can see here the different combinations. So these would represent the different offspring. Do you remember the spiders? Huh?
I remember spiders.
Do you remember the different spiders and the different offspring?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I want you to think of is that these are the cells of a mother. So here's the word mother. Can you see that word? It's very small.
Yeah.
Right? So these are the cells here of a mother. These are the cells of a father. Cells of a mother, cells of a father. And these will be considered offspring. So this would be offspring A. This would be considered offspring B. Offspring C. and offspring D. How many are there in your family, Haley?
Um,
How many brothers and sisters?
I have one sister and one brother.
So two? Okay, there are two in your family. Two. So there are two offspring. Hey, Mena, how many brothers and sisters do you have, including yourself?
All together we're three. I have one sister and one brother.
And yourself, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And does anyone in their family have 4 children?
Yeah, my cousins.
Your cousins?
Yeah, my cousin, well, my aunt has 4 kids. 2
Four.
sisters, 2 brothers.
Okay. So these would be like the offspring for 4 children. This would be like mother and a father, and they reproduce and they have 4 children. Child number 1, child number 2, child number 3, child number 4. And they all inherit um, genes. They all inherit cells. And there are different combinations. Somebody might wind up with curly hair, somebody might wind up with darker skin, somebody might wind up with blue eyes, somebody might wind up with brown eyes. So there's different combinations. Does that make sense? Okay. So let's head over to the next paragraph. Does anybody want to read that paragraph?
I can read it.
All right, wonderful. Go for it.
Oh, where do I start?
Oh, sorry. Right over here. This is page E3. This is page E3.
Okay. When the egg and sperm cells from 2 parents come together, there's
Fertilization.
fertilization. Fertilization is when these cells combine to form the first cell of a new offspring. This new cell has 2 copies of each gene, one from each parent. Each parent randomly passes on only one copy of each gene. So there can be lots of possible combinations of genes passed on from 2 parents. The main possible combination of genes are what gives us
Variation.
variation.
Yeah. When I think of variation, I think of M&Ms because there are a lot of different colors. There's a lot of different colors in M&Ms, right? We have blue, yellow, red, brown, green, different variation of colors. Um, any words that you want me to highlight, Jimena, that you find interesting or need clarification on, or that we have Mr. Lopez has said before? Can you remember him saying the words at some point?
I think you should highlight this new cells has 2 copies of gene, one from each parent, because I feel like that's interesting because they're passing their genes to like their kids.
This new cell has two. Okay, so that would be the main idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so this new cell has two copies of each gene, one from each parent. Yeah, this one is. You can say this entire piece here. This is a very long sentence, but that would be the main idea. And I have said the word offspring, right? And variation. Variation is another word that we have used before. And I just used combination. Like when you have a locker, or if you've ever had a bike and you've had a lock, you have to know the right combination in order to open up the lock, right? Okay, so thank you for reading that. I appreciate you, Jimena. And does anyone want to read the last paragraph there? Or Mr. Lopez will read it. It's the last one. All variation in humans come from sexual reproduction. Identical twins do vary from their parents. However, identical twins have the same gene versions as each other. How is this possible? To understand why, let's think about the difference between identical twins and fraternal twins. So we kind of have a new word there, fraternal twins. So anyone want to make a guess as to what fraternal twins are? We know what identical twins are, right, Haley?
Like
They are what? Identical twins. They look
same.
yeah, they look the same. So what do you think fraternal twins will be?
Different.
Yeah.
Possibly, yeah. All right, all variations. Okay, so let's move on.
What page is that?
And this is page E4, and I'll put it right here. This is page E4. And all we're doing is annotating. We're just taking notes on the article on twins. Why are twins identical? And I'm recording this, so I'm gonna load it onto YouTube so that you'll be able to see it. Okay, so you didn't miss out on anything. Uh-oh. Oops. I think I pressed the wrong button. 1 second here. Oh. Mr. Lopez made a mistake here. He pressed the wrong. He unplugged the wrong wire. And let's get back on. And again, we're on page E4 in your Traits and Reproduction book. And it should be appearing in a few. Let's see what's going on. It's plugged in. Processing request. This is not good. But here we go. All right. And for some reason, it's not plugged in. It's plugged in, ready to go. Okay. So Mr. Lopez is having some technical problems. So he's going to turn everything off, and there's my beautiful smile. And then Mr. Lopez is going to turn it on again. So I'm turning off the projector whenever something doesn't work. And as Frida knows, you just have to you have to turn everything off and turn it back on, turn everything off, turn it back on. And you got to keep doing that over and over again until it works. Right, Frida?
Yeah, I tried that.
You were doing that today.
Yeah.
Okay, folks, I don't know what's going on here. But you know what? We did pretty good there. Let me pause the video.